Welcome back to our corner, the All Abilities Corner. We're here to help you navigate the challenging but beautiful journey of raising a child with special needs. If you're watching this and you're exhausted, running on fumes, barely holding it together, this video is for you. Burnout is real, and you're not alone. Raising a child with special needs adds a whole other layer, doesn't it? It's like running a marathon every day, but you signed up for the kind with extra hills, surprise detours, and you're carrying all the snacks. It's a lot. Today, we're diving into the real signs of burnout, how to recognize them early, and most importantly, how to take the break you deserve, even when you feel like you can't. All right, let's talk about exhaustion. I mean, the kind that goes beyond "I need another cup of coffee" exhaustion. I'm talking I could sleep for a week and still feel like I got hit by a truck exhaustion. If you find yourself constantly tired, even after a full night's sleep, it's a sign your body is crying out for more than just rest. It's like your internal battery is stuck on 1%, and no matter how much you try to charge it, it just won't hold a charge. Sound familiar? And we're not just talking about physical exhaustion here. It's emotional exhaustion too. It's that feeling of being completely drained, like you've poured every ounce of energy you have into caring for your child, and there's simply nothing left to give. You're not being lazy, you're not weak, you're not failing, you're just tired. And that's okay. It's okay to admit that you need a break. In fact, it's more than okay. It's necessary. Think about it this way. Imagine hiding in the restroom pretending that you have to use it, but all the while the only reason that you are in there is to get a short break. And you know in your mind that you're only having this break because your restroom's door locks. Well, this is kind of like that. You can't pour from an empty cup. You can't be the best parent you can be if you're running on fumes. So what can you do about it? First things first, acknowledge the fatigue. Don't try to push through it or pretend it's not there. The more you try to ignore it, the louder it's going to get. Next, give yourself permission to rest, even if it's just for a few minutes each day. Remember, you deserve to feel rested and recharged. Okay, have you ever noticed that when you're tired, everything seems to bug you a little bit more? Like the sound of someone chewing their food suddenly becomes the most annoying sound in the world? Or you find yourself snapping at your partner for just breathing? Yeah, that's irritability, and it's a major sign of burnout. And let's be honest, being a parent, especially a parent of a child with special needs, can test the limits of even the most patient person. You're dealing with constant demands, unexpected challenges, and a never-ending to-do list. It's like juggling chainsaws while riding a unicycle on a tightrope. It's a lot to handle, and it's perfectly normal to feel your fuse getting shorter. But here's the thing, when you're constantly on edge, it's not just hard on you, it's hard on everyone around you, especially your kids. They pick up on your energy, and it can make them feel anxious or insecure. So what can you do about it? Well, the first step is to recognize that your irritability is a sign that you're overwhelmed. It's not a character flaw, it's a signal that you need to take a step back and take care of yourself. And how do you do that? Well, one way is to find healthy ways to release your frustration. Maybe that's going for a walk, listening to music, or doing some deep breathing exercises. Another helpful tip is to communicate with your loved ones. Let them know that you're feeling stressed and that you might need a little extra patience and understanding. Remember, you're not alone in this. When we talk about burnout, we often focus on the physical and emotional exhaustion. But there's another side to it that can be even more difficult to deal with: emotional detachment or feeling disconnected. It's that feeling of being emotionally numb, like you're just going through the motions. You love your child, of course, but somewhere along the way, you started to feel disconnected from them, and maybe even from your partner and other loved ones. It's like there's a wall up between you and the rest of the world, and you can't seem to break through it. And that's a really scary feeling, isn't it? To feel like you're losing your connection to the people you love most. But here's the thing, it's not your fault. When you're in survival mode, your brain goes into this protective shutdown mode, and it can make it hard to feel those deep emotional connections. So, how do you start to reconnect? Well, the first step is to acknowledge that you're feeling disconnected. Don't judge yourself for it, just accept it as a symptom of burnout. Next, try to carve out some time for activities that you used to enjoy, even if you don't feel like it at first. Maybe that's reading, listening to music, or spending time in nature. And finally, don't be afraid to reach out for help. Talk to your partner, a friend, a therapist, or a support group. Remember, you're not alone in this. Chapter 4, Brain Fog, when your mind needs a reboot. Alright, let's talk about brain fog. You know that feeling where your mind feels fuzzy, you can't seem to concentrate, and you keep forgetting things? It's like your brain is running on dial-up internet while everyone else has high-speed fiber optic. Yeah, that's brain fog. And it's another telltale sign of burnout. And let's be honest, when you're juggling the demands of raising a child with special needs, It's no wonder your brain feels fried. You're constantly processing information, making decisions, and trying to stay one step ahead. It's like your brain is a computer that's been running nonstop for days, and it's starting to overheat. So, what can you do about it? Well, one of the best things you can do is to simplify your life as much as possible. Delegate tasks, say no to commitments, and create routines that make your life easier. Another helpful tip is to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is all about being present in the moment and focusing on your breath. It's a great way to quiet the mental chatter and give your brain a much-needed break. And finally, don't underestimate the power of good old-fashioned sleep. When you're sleep-deprived, your brain simply can't function at its best. So make sure you're getting enough rest. Remember, brain fog is a sign that your mind needs a break. Okay, let's talk about emotions for a minute. When you're feeling burned out, it's like your emotions are on a roller coaster. One minute you're fine, the next minute you're crying over a spilled glass of milk. Sound familiar? Yeah, it's not pretty. And it can be really confusing and frustrating both for you and for the people around you. But here's the thing, your emotions are valid. You're allowed to feel all the feels, even the messy ones. It's okay to cry, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to feel overwhelmed. The important thing is to find healthy ways to express and manage those emotions. So what can you do? Well, one of the best things you can do is to find someone you trust to talk to. A friend, a family member, a therapist, a support group. Just having someone to listen without judgment can make a world of difference. Another helpful tip is to engage in activities that help you process your emotions. Maybe that's journaling, listening to music, or spending time in nature. And finally, be kind to yourself. You're stronger than you think, and you will get through this. You know, when we're feeling burned out, it's natural to want to withdraw from the world. It's like our bodies and minds are screaming for a timeout, and sometimes the only way to get it is to just shut down. So, you start avoiding social events, putting off appointments, and letting tasks pile up. You might even find yourself scrolling through social media for hours, just trying to numb out and escape from reality. And you know what? That's okay once in a while. Sometimes we just need a break from the world. But here's the thing. When avoidance becomes a way of life, it can actually make burnout worse. It's like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone. It might cover up the problem for a little while, but it's not going to fix it. So how do you break free from the cycle of avoidance? Well, the first step is to recognize that it's happening. Pay attention to your behavior and see if you're isolating yourself more than usual. Once you've identified the pattern, you can start to challenge it. Start small. Instead of canceling plans, try just shortening them. Instead of putting off a task, break it down into smaller, more manageable steps. And most importantly, don't be afraid to ask for help. All right, let's talk about guilt. You know that nagging voice in the back of your head that tells you you're not doing enough? You're not being enough? You're just not enough? Yeah, that's the guilt monster, and it loves to prey on parents, especially parents of children with special needs. You're constantly bombarded with messages about what it means to be a good parent, and it's easy to feel like you're falling short. We in the All Abilities Corner support you and want to assure you that you are more than enough. You're doing the best you can with what you have, and that's all anyone can ask of you. So how do you silence that pesky guilt monster? Well, the first step is to challenge its negative thoughts. When you catch yourself thinking, I should be doing more, stop and ask yourself, is that really true? Or am I being too hard on myself? Another helpful tip is to practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend going through a difficult time. We want you to remember this. You are not broken. You are doing something profoundly difficult. You are loving deeply, giving constantly, and standing in the storm every day for your child. Resting doesn't make you less of a parent. It makes you a better one. Because a rested parent is a stronger parent, a clear-minded parent, a hopeful parent. And hope is the fuel that gets us through the hard days. Take the break. You don't need to earn it. You already have. We see you and we support you.